she's going to give probably about 3 men and 3 women a donut each, probably spread out around the 3 different sections. Keep your hands up if you're really eager. Now the only thing, okay, the teen section is really, we can't give them all to the teens. Now here's going to be the catch. You can't eat it now. My wife, who most of you know, is really sweet and compassionate and sensitive. The one thing where she gets this fit of rage mentality is when you eat in the auditorium. So we have to keep my wife happy. So hold on to that for just a second. We're going to have a little illustration. And the rest of you can all be jealous and disappointed for just a few minutes if you need to. All right. Here's the illustration. I heard this, I think I told you this story long ago, but you won't remember it, so we'll be all right. There was a man who went into Dunkin' Donuts one day, and he was going to be fairly early for work. He thought in a moment of love and gratitude that he'd actually go ahead and just buy a bunch of donuts even for the people, his workmates. He was going to be early, so he went in and he bought 10 donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. And was feeling pretty good about himself, but he was so early for work he didn't want to leave, and he was pretty hungry himself, so he said, I'll just sit down and I'll eat a couple first, and then I'll take the rest of them in. But the Dunkin' Donuts was really crowded, there were people everywhere, but he actually saw one table over there with just one man sitting at it, and he said, okay, well, he walked over and said, do you mind if I sit across from you here while I eat my donuts? The guy said, no problem, go ahead. So he took off his coat, and he put down his briefcase, and he got all excited, and he reached in and got his donut and started eating it, and he was having a good time. Life was good. He finished off his first donut, and the man across the table from him reached over, grabbed his bag, pulled it toward himself, reached in, pulled out one of his donuts, and he began to eat one of his donuts with kind of this weird little smile on his face. Which made the man wonder if he was like, you know, losing it a little bit upstairs, or what's up with this guy? This is a little crazy, you know. I know I wanted to, in a spirit of, you know, niceness, take him to my workmates, but I really wasn't wanting to take one for you. And so he just watched this guy polish it off, and the guy was smiling and looking really happy. So that was a little bizarre, but he wanted to, you know, stake his territorial right. So he reached his hand back over, grabbed his donuts, drew them really closely to himself, reached in, picked out another one, and ate another one, just kind of glared at the guy the whole time while he was eating his donuts. The guy with his weird grin, after he finished his, reached right back over, pulled the bag back strongly, reached in, and he went in for his second one. Oh, no. Having a good time, and they were kind of doing this little stare thing back and forth, and he was wondering if he should call the police or complain to the manager. Or... Anyway, he just thought, well, this is frustrating. I can't believe this guy's a jerk. What was he be doing, stealing all my stuff? So he put his coat back on, he reached down to grab his briefcase. He was going to grab his donuts and go, and he noticed that his donuts were actually sitting down beside his briefcase that he had laid down. And he had actually been eating the other man's donuts. And so he left embarrassed and humiliated, thankfully without calling the cops. But you know, I read that story, and maybe I overly spiritualized everything. But I read that story and I thought, you know, God has given all of us a whole bunch of donuts. I mean, God has really, I mean, He's given everybody in this room 10 donuts plus. And you know what happens if we don't watch out? We start thinking those are our donuts. And we start getting ticked off. And so we even, like, God even says things like, you know, let's tithe, or let's give 10% of our earnings. And we're like, what is His problem? I don't want to give Him one of my donuts. What's up with that? You know, and I don't have enough donuts for myself to live on. I got kids to go to school, and I got bills to pay, and it's just amazing kind of how we begin all of a sudden to think these are our donuts when really they aren't.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, here's the scariest part about it is, we think that our 10 donuts are too little for us when most of the people in the world are living on a donut or less.
Sure.
And we just get indignant when God or anyone else wants something or needs something. Right. And how dare you? And you know what? I heard that story, I thought about it again. God has given us stuff to give it away. Yeah. That's why He gave it to you. Not to build your own little empire, not to make sure you had every single coat in your closet you desired or fashion, but God gave you everything you got to use and give it away. And so actually, here's my challenge to the 6 of you lucky people that were given a donut each, and that is, don't eat the donut yourself. if you actually gave it away to maybe even somebody that would get a bigger smile later on in the day? Maybe go next door to the neighbor's house and find the kid and make a better friend. There are just people all around us that need stuff, and we think, oh, it's mine, protect it. What if we actually had the spirit of, God's given me stuff to give it away. He gave me 10 donuts. I want to spend a lifetime giving as much as possible as I can. It really was the heart and the attitude of Jesus.